So the topic of today's video will be going over the characters that deserve to be in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate to make the game complete. And today we'll be covering the characters, of course, that deserve to be in there. We're going to go into information and details of how those characters could possibly be in there, the remaining character choices. We're going to go so Dr. Robotnik, or as he's known today as Dr. Aikman, she needs to have, I believe he really does deserve to be in here as representation as a playable character at the very least. The capability, what he could do with his moveset would be important and unique to the game. And I love this picture because it presents that with all of his different games he's been a part of and what he's done with all of his insane plans. I think it's great. He can be possibly in his 2D games, like his carrier here, or rather his Aikman mobile, his Ike mobile is what it's called, or he can be on foot. And he even has he can be dangerous on foot with his Eggman rays and everything else. He names everything after him, and it's kind of funny. His taunts would be great to reflect his personality. I think it'd all be wonderful. And I just really don't see any actual issue with adding him in, other than if there's like a rights issue or something. And for people saying there would be who would take up the slot of someone else, I really say that's not going to be an issue, because if they really want this to be Ultimate Smash with everyone is here, they need to do stuff like this. And I have a way here to explain how that's going to happen, and that's what the incredible solution I'm going to suggest at the end here. Where yes, Nintendo is going to obviously make money off of it, but I'm going to try and suggest a reasonable price. Something. They might even add some money on it, but the point is they can always add to it. And it shouldn't cause Sakurai and the Smash team any additional stress. It can allow them even work on other projects. Because it'll give us the time to play around with the game a lot more. So let's move on to the next character. If we get representation for Prince of Persia and then Gaiden. And so to go over those, why I put those two picks together is I have to say, if we get either one of these characters in the game playable, I think that would be great, because in my heart, these characters, they inspired like Assassin's Creed and a lot of other different things. With how old these games are too. Also, these games go way back. We're talking like NES, SNES. They're like really old, and they're known for being treacherous or difficult and crazy. Um, but yeah, but the Prince of Persia everyone remembers is the one you go to like Xbox and PS2 and stuff, but there's a much older one. But yeah, there's also older Ninja Gaidens too, like that on NES, and I think it'd be great to get either one of those. And I think I could see the possibility of one of these being a Mii costume, just because we have Assassin's Creed representation in a Mii costume already. And I'm just simply saying, seeing some form of these as, in the game in general would be good, even if it ends up being Mii's, but I have a way to make it affordable, even make money. I'm going to go over at the end of the video here. Or you don't have to do Mii costumes to be something better. Or you can do Mii costumes in addition to make it so everyone's happy. Because I think, yeah, these characters are really important. They're really cool in general. And that's why I'm going to talk about these characters, how they normally handle this, but I think there's better ways to handle this too. For instance, we have, for Mega Man, Dr. Wily and Bass. So when we're looking at Dr. Wily, he's reading the game, he's somewhat of like a boss / assist trophy. And then we have Bass, who isn't in the game except in the form of like a spirit, maybe. But he's Mega Man's like arch rival, I guess. He's the equivalent like Metal Sonic or Shadow, and like Sonic, if you want to make somewhat of a comparison. And he has a dog and everything too. He jumps on, as a spring. He's very similar to Mega Man, so I could see him making it in somewhat an Echo Fighter at the very least, or something. Except like his moves maybe have different effects or things that set up for slightly different combos and stuff. It'd be interesting. And maybe he has, I don't know, a certain power behind certain moves to make him a little stronger. I think that'd be interesting. Crash Bandicoot, I always think of him, not just in his, how he's iconic, but with, he reminds me of like the video game version of a Tasmanian Devil from Cartoon Network. It's why he's so much fun, so funny for me. He's so beloved. He's just doing his own thing. I think it's great. He definitely deserves to be in Smash, and I think there's so many different things you can do with them. I can honestly say that what they may do for him is they may end up making him a Mii fighter costume, but I think they could do better. I think at the very least they could bring him into the game as his own character. That's what I have as a suggestion, to bring him into the game as his own character. And in my opinion, he's more popular than some of the characters here on the list. But I think, in my opinion, they should bring him in as his own character. He's extremely popular. If he's going to make money, he's going to continue to make money. People will always want him because he's such a, there's no other way to describe him other than he's such a great character. He's wacky, he's fun, he gets people to smile, he gets people to engage in the game, and that's what you want. It's what gets customers to buy a game. This guy along with all the others, it's what's important when you look at a business standpoint. That's where I'm going to talk about these characters. Like, if I just put Eva here as kind of like a placeholder for other Metal Gear Solid characters. And really, when you think Metal Gear Solid, everyone always comes to mind to think of, the average person, not huge Metal Gear Solid fans. And I have to be fair, I haven't I'm not the biggest. I haven't played much of the games, but I did try and look, and a lot of top searches when I brought up villains brought Eva. And I have solutions for something like maybe a cost 2 or an Echo Fighter, and I have ideas for that. And also, people want Waluigi, and I understand that, because, I mean, how can you have Wario in the game and not have Waluigi? And actually, I have a solution that involving Echo Fighter as well. And that would make sense, because you have Wario, but you know, he's extremely bizarre, but you don't have Waluigi. Well, we can, I think, make that work, and I have an idea. If we have the inspirations for Bayonetta, John, Dante, and Virgil. And I really do think, at the very least, Dante needs to be in the game. You can have Virgil as like an Echo Fighter. I don't see why you can't. Yeah. There's just no reason not to. These guys on their own. I mean, if you're put Bayonetta in the game, you need to at least put Dante in the game. It doesn't make sense. Like, the only reason Bayonetta even exists, in my opinion, is because Devil May Cry is a thing, and that is extremely successful. And I can't think of any other reason not to, if you have Bayonetta in the game. People are pushing for, people want to support you in this, people want to buy it. I'm just going to have to say that. And then Virgil, I suggested, it's the highly advisable suggestion as an Echo Fighter, because, you know, it's just more money. And yeah, this is going to be the big one. Yeah, their styles are very different, but these two in themselves are icons of FPSs, but they're also for generations. Like, this is like a whole generation itself. Master Chief is, but Doomguy is also like the inspiration for generations and a whole generation himself. Like, not having him in here is insulting, but also not putting him in this point when you're partnered. And, you know, I'm just saying is, even regardless of partnership, not having him in there is also insulting, just because to have, you know, everyone is here, you'd have to. I know people are also going to wonder, like, where is, like, someone like Mortal Kombat, like Scorpion or Sub-Zero or anything. I'm honestly trying to be realistic. I don't know if something like Scorpion or Sub-Zero could get in the game. And if they do, they'd probably be Echo Fighters of each other with the different properties. I'm going to mention that right now. One of them be an Echo Fighter. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But Rayman. Oh, man. So I actually have played a little bit of a Rayman game. It is platformer. He kind of does his own thing. He has a cool personality and stuff. He's just, I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea, but he's a cup of coffee, I guess. He's cool. I just I don't know. Like, if he were to get in, because how unique he is and things, he maybe could be being like an Echo Fighter in costume, but he probably should be a unique fighter, like his own standalone fighter. But between him and someone like Crash Bandicoot or even Spyro, because I've seen people wanting Spyro, and And it's Spyro the Dragon from, I believe it's PlayStation or Dreamcast. I'm pretty sure it's PlayStation. Anyways, between those three choices, I would say I'd almost rather have Spyro. Just because, from a design standpoint, and a fighting standpoint, and a gameplay standpoint, like, Rayman, like, people have to understand, like, it's like another Game & Watch. And I say that because, look, he has 2 hands, 2 feet, a little midsection for a body, and a head. I mean, when you're playing with that or playing against that or something, even in a fun setting, like, if someone decides to take that competitive and abuse that, it's not going to be fun. Yeah, I have to look at it from a standpoint of having fun, and Rayman's just not going to be fun like he is at his happy platform stuff. He's going to be, I think, a little worse than Mr. Game Watch and how his abuse is going to be from the people using him. Versus like Spyro or Crash or something where they may be doing certain things from their games, or even Banjo. So I think that's something to consider. I mean, I'm thinking from a design perspective too. And it's not that Rayman's not cool, or, it's just unfortunate that from a design perspective, he just, that he's going to do things that's just not going to be any kind of sense whatsoever. No one's going to ever be able to really argue with it or make sense, because it's like, well, technically he doesn't really have to have a range limit, because what's limiting him? He has no actual limbs. I mean, technically, if he wanted to, he could throw his head at you. I mean, and that sounds really goofy and everything on paper, but when you're talking about a game like Smash where there has to be balancing, where's the balancing going with this character? There is no balancing. Yeah, so I think that's the thing that hurts this character. You almost have to do like a Cuphead kind of thing. Or you do an Echo Fighter, I think would be better. So that's the thing that hurts Rayman. I mean, you'd almost have a better chance with an older character, like, or older character combo, like if you did 2 characters like Joe and Mac from Joe and Mac 2 Lost in the Tropics, and did that kind of similar to Ice Climbers, but they can do just fine on their own, and they don't need the 2. I think that'd be kind of fun. Like, can work like a combination of Ice Climbers and Minecraft Steve, where they don't build, but they get the items. I guess it'd be like Pac-Man too, but you get my point. It's just at least from a design perspective, there could be possibly balancing and stuff there. But this, it's hard, because you have to try and animate things where the hands, and just everything makes sense. Not just dealing damage, but receiving damage, and it's just to be a lot more balancing than needed. That's why they didn't put him in, I think, in the first place. This is where my solution comes into for a lot of things we talked about previously. And when we've talked about, like, Dr. Wily in Base, for example, or any Metal Gear Solid character, or even people who are looking to possibly make other characters, like maybe someone wanted to make like a Tails, or a Metal Sonic, for example, like you have on the screen, or Shadow. So my idea behind this was, Nintendo would obviously sell this separate, and I think it would be a smart idea. Just as an example here, they might do it higher, knowing that, and that'd be fine. $9.99. I'm gonna repeat that: $9.99. I'm calling it an Echo Fighter kit, but basically, it's a preset. I guess you would have access to, like, textures and, like when I say textures, I mean outfits and other things to all these characters, and, you know, bonus outfits to purchase. I could see them doing that to purchase, like, oh, here's a Shadow outfit, or, from Shadow the Hedgehog, oh, here's a Metal Sonic outfit, just an example, or a Waluigi outfit. And then you take all these different moves from in the game, right? Like, you have access to all the characters' moves, even DLC moves if you purchase the DLC characters. You take everything that's available and make your own Echo Fighter, right? And of course, I'm assuming that these moves are going to be they're not going to be customizable moves. They'll be the moves that are available already in the game, right? So you can have, like, let's say for Metal Sonic, you can make him float, like Dark Samus have the same speed as Sonic. But I'm just saying here, he might have the same. You could make him, just for the visual sake, have the same role as a Dark Samus. But he, and depending on, I'm saying with the Echo Fighter kit, with things like that, the character stuff, they might make it balancing wise, where, like, obviously the Smash team might do this. The only thing they might need to work on is balancing, like, frames, like, when I say frames, I mean as far as the frames of dodging and roll and other things getting on ledge, and how that should be depending on, like, maybe the size depending on your character, or other factors depending on what moves you pick, because you don't want to, when I say player, I mean a person, to make, like, some, funny, ridiculous character and then have it be completely unbeatable going online and making people quit your game forever. But yeah, the point of this is so you can have your character you want, like I just mentioned Metal Sonic, Shadow, Tails. You can have, like, a Dr. Wily by combining kind of like something like, they give you a Dr. Wily outfit, but then you combine, like, well, I'm trying to say, like, Bowser Jr. and something else. So even if people were to leave the cart, maybe he doesn't die right away if you hit him, but he has a chance to get back on the cart, and, kind of like by pressing a button or something, just something wacky. I'm saying there's all kinds of possibilities they could do. It depends on, or maybe they have a little bit of armor or something, instead of just pressing on something more within the Smash Brothers kit that's available. I think something like that would be really important to have and really cool, because especially if we get some of these other fighters like Master Chief or Doom Guy or Dante or something, or Dr. Eggman, because it just adds more. You can add to the kit for customization. So, for instance, for Waluigi, you can combine, like, Luigi, maybe even certain traits from maybe Ryu or something, and maybe some wackiness from Wario, certain traits. So Waluigi is kind of like Waluigi. And some people might make him even wackier, like the Waluigi where he has, like, the roses and stuff. They might actually do something to make him feel kind of like that, give him some traits of I kind of almost want to say Daisy or something, but I'm just saying, like, there's all kinds of different things that would be awesome with that. I think it would make money. And it's not always about making money, but the reason it makes money is because you're providing more options for your game to the fans. And one other thing I want to go over, I think the stage customization needs something where you can do like break the targets, like a built-in, and options to like for the platform or something. And in general, there needs to be more customization for when you create a stage. I think that'll add addition to the game and make it longer lasting as well. I also think it'd be important to be able to customize stages that are already made. There's already Battlefield or Final Destination, for instance. I think being able to build more to those stages or so on and so forth, that would be important. But yeah, finishing off with the Echo Fighter kit, yeah, that's important. And as far as Mii Fighter outfits and costumes, I think that'd be fine if people still want those to do some more of that. But I think putting more into or exploring more of the resources of an Echo Fighter is important. And what you can do with that, with also addition of doing the real fighters. And I think for now, the real fighters that need to be in the game, or looking to be in the game for certain, to make the game more complete, are Dr. Aikman, Doom Guy, Master Chief, Dante, and I think those guys definitely need to be in the game. Those are, I think, our 4 best bets. And, between those, when I mentioned Master Chief and Doom Guy, I mentioned between one of those two at least, because they're so iconic as FPS representatives. But if you're talking about completing the game as a whole, Dr. Aikman has to be in the game. He just completes the Sonic as being the only one from his series. If you're talking about adding another world or universe, Doom Guy and Master Chief do that. If you're talking about choosing between a character to add another universe and which one's more iconic between Doom Guy and Dante, I would say Doom Guy. He's been around longer than Dante. But if you want to do another sword fighter with guns, you could do Dante. That's the thing. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. That's the thing. I could see consideration one over the other. In Crash, I could see being one of those things to battle over as a pick between Spyro, Rayman, and as far as the theme of making the game complete, Dr. Aikman definitely needs to be in there. And as far as the other game characters I mentioned, like Waluigi and all that stuff, almost all of that can be fixed by this Echo Fighter kit I've suggested. Yeah, I think if we were to talk in general about what people are suggesting is the last 2 characters and a possible bonus fighter, and what the characters have been so far, I'd recommend Dr. Aikman, Doom Guy, and Master Chief, and then put Dante and Virgil as like a bonus fighter, as like an Echo, like I mentioned Virgil, and then do this Echo Fighter kit, because this Echo Fighter kit is gonna make people happy and what they want. It's gonna give them all the characters they could want, what they need, and you guys, when I say you guys, I mean the Smash team and Nintendo, can make almost everyone happy with whatever character they would want to put in, that they can put it in themselves. And you guys, as a company, Nintendo and the Smash team, can continue to make your I don't want to just continue using the word money, but I have to. That's the only way to put it. Your money, your value off of your product. I think that's important. And of course, your customers will be able to get the characters they want as well. And even they might even do things that might surprise you. They might find ways to come up with ideas for characters you never thought were possible. And I mean, hopefully in a good way. Because, I mean, yeah, hopefully it's not like Soul Calibur 5 where people were doing things that, which is why when I said pre-made costumes or pre-made, settings for Echo Fires and kits of, I mean, stuff that's already in the game. That's why you don't want to do too much with it. But if you do it right, people can end up doing things like making Metal Sonic or Tails or Shadow, all these other things, and or even Metal Gear Solid characters like Eva, or they could even make people might even want to be like, hey, I want, which would be me. This would be funny. Like with Donkey Kong, someone's like, I want to play as King Kong. I think that would be fun to have Donkey Kong be like King Kong. That would be funny because of the popularity of certain movies. And it's not like the character's truly in the game. It's a fighter customized through a kit. So I'm just thinking here. So it would just, and obviously they can't make that without you providing it. So it's just things to think about. I hope it's considered. All right, so just want to say thank you for watching. If you followed all the way through, also hope you enjoyed and consider this, and have a great day, and thank you.